All right, guys. Excuse the dust and crap. Well, I know you're not used to seeing this LS motor. Alternator went out, sometime this winter. I don't know. Been working pretty hard, so I've got a K&N air filter inside the stock air box, and I wasn't sure if I've heard good things about the AirAid Modular Air Intake Tube, and so I bought one. I mean, it's supposed to replace the stock intake tube, and they say it flows really well. That's one of the best combinations you can get, a high flow filter inside the stock element. You still got the cold air intake type of deal going on, and you have this tube, and you don't have all these baffles and stuff in here. Come on, baby. There we go. You don't have the baffles like this stuff here. This goes all the way to the back. But anyway, I figured I'd go ahead and show the process of filming this, or of changing out the intake tube, which is super easy. One thing real quick, I did do a couple of 0 to 60 runs. I did about 4 of them. I got this new Dragy app, or Dragy deal. I've had it for over a year, but went ahead and thought I'd use it real quick on here. So I did four 0 to 60s real quick. Only the last one I did with the air conditioning off. The last 2 I did with the traction control off, and I got like a 9.37 0 to 60. So anyway, basically what you're going to need to do is this clamp, and pull this guy out. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, and then this should clip out. It's something similar to this guy, this little ball. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this intake off real quick, and then put the AirAid on. Here's the clamp in the throttle body. There's the clamp in the air box. Slide this off, slide this off, and out she comes. That's super easy. I actually did not expect it to go that quickly. This guy clamps on. To get this off, you need to find the spot and just pull this little deal back here. All right, there's 2 couplers. The larger one goes on the throttle body. The smaller one air box. Comes with an intake tube. Nipple. And 4 clamps. Yeah, all the clamps look like they're the same size to me. There's a size printer on 64, 64, 64, and 64. Yeah, they're all the same. They are all the same size. You can see. A size 64. So that doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about different sizes. tightened up the clamp a little too tight. You don't have to get stupid tight with it. Alright, take a 9/16 wrench. Somebody said you have to lube them up and stuff, lube the couplers up. Somebody said something about them wanting to come off. I don't see that at all. If you have any sort of mechanical aptitude, you can install this thing in like 10 minutes. Here, clamps nice and tight. I put the clamps down there. Nice airflow sensor box, air box. I put these two clamps on this side. I mean, it's not going anywhere. This hose, they give you plenty of length. I might trim it up a little bit. But here is the factory box, the factory intake tube. You see, if you look at it from the underside, you see what's going on. The AirAid piece basically goes from here to here. It doesn't have the silencers. Shit, this one doesn't. I guess it does. It does. That one does do something. But anyway, yeah, this is the stock air intake, and you don't need that extra crap, in my opinion. I'm not worried about silence. I'm not worried, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this guy off real quick. It just slips over top the old nipple. I might go ahead and trim it down to I don't know, maybe about, I might trim maybe an inch off, maybe 2 inches. All right, you can see here I cut off a small amount. It was still wanting to rub on the upper radiator hose, but there's clearance now. There's a steam port here, so it's not rubbing on anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up now. Oh, yeah, here's what I used to cut the hose. This goes on. There's 2 clips in the back, and there's 2 little deals there that slip on those little ball pins there. So you push back. Yep, and actually you can see inside there now that it is actually in. So anyway, I'll go ahead and fire this guy up now. I can't really hear a difference now at idle or anything, so I'll go ahead and start cleaning some of this stuff up and then take her on a quick test drive. All right. got this thing set to go into 4-cylinder mode in park. Go ahead and back on out real quick. All right, I'm going to switch over to that Dragy app real quick. All right, so I don't notice a difference between the noise of the air intake. If I would have gotten the actual cold air intake from like the Intake Junior or whatever the hell it is, whatever AirAid calls it, I might have heard a difference in sound, but with stock airbox and the stock, cold air stuff going in it, and just the can, nice clean hands. With the stock airbox, and I can't tell a difference in sound. So if you're wanting a more aggressive sound, this isn't the thing to get, but it does offer a solid performance improvement. I feel for $160, I think it's pretty good. So anyway, I'd say without a tune, it's awesome. I imagine with a tune, it'd be even better. So like I said, I've got a Canon air filter in there. It's been in there for probably a year. I didn't pull the air cleaner off to check, see what kind of condition it was in. I haven't cleaned my, I did those tests, came back, swapped the intake tube, and then went right back out. So it might have been a half hour total, including stopping and visiting first a little bit, and then, but I mean, the motor was heat soaked. It was still hot. Like the upper radiator hose was still pretty warm when I was even leaving. When I was grabbing the hoses and stuff, it was still very hot. So I mean, it's not like I was sitting overnight or anything like that. I mean, it's maybe a half hour at the most after. So, and the intake, I mean, it's super easy to install. 2 hose clamps, get the old one off, and 4 hose clamps, put the new one on. I mean, it's super simple. You need a flat screwdriver or a 5/16 socket, and maybe an extension if you use a socket, and a 9/16 wrench, and a pair of a sharp knife, or I used a pair of scissors, or you could use a pair of dikes, or anything to cut a rubber tube. So like I said, a cheap pair of scissors is what I used. The first thing I found. So yeah, I mean, aside from that, I've heard people say that you should use spray lube to get them to get the couplers to slide on easier. I did not experience that at all. It slipped on perfectly easily. I mean, it slipped on just fine. And maybe that might become where some issues, in some of the comments you see the guys saying, "Oh, it doesn't fit," it keeps on wanting to slip off. Maybe that's why, because they lubed it up too much or something, and they didn't clamp it down hard enough. That could be my only thinking, because it seemed the perfect length. It seemed just fine for me. I don't know. I've also heard some fitment issues on some other stuff that fits perfectly for me. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm God's gift to mechanics, but I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. And I've tried stuff before too that it just seems like it was difficult. Like putting a starter in my old S10 when I was 16. Like I struggled with it. I'm like, I dicked around with that thing forever, it seemed like. And then, now it's like stuff like that, it just slips right in, and it just the stuff that you think was an issue before is totally not now. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling now, but I did not have any issues with installing it. It went super fast, super easy. Yeah, everything including the, I mean, it's an intake tube. It's super simple, not much to it. So, but I did see a solid 3 second or 3 to 4 tenths improvement in my 0 to 60, which is, I'd say, substantial. So I'm not 100% sure on the exact weight of this thing, but I mean, I'm gonna say probably 6,000 pounds, I imagine. Maybe a tad more. I'm really not 100% sure. So I could weigh it, but then that'd give me a little more accurate horsepower improvement for my 0 to 60 time. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and just post some numbers below and see what I got. Put it in my old, the same calculator I used for my Silverado back in the day. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get on that. All right, guys, I just did some figuring, and on my first runs and my initial 0 to 60 spot, it was like 12.5 horsepower picked up, and then on the flatter area, or I'm assuming it's flatter. I haven't really looked at the actual telemetry of the Dragy thing, but I just looked at the 0 to 60 times. Went from 937 to 901, and that was showing like 16.2 horsepower, and that's just for me flat footing it. It's not from me brake torquing or anything like that. It's just punching the throttle, and both times with the traction control on, or sorry, the traction control on was slower. The times when the traction control was off, each time was faster. So and comparing each individual spot that I did each time, yeah, I mean, it's looking, yeah, over 16 horsepower, and on that flatter, I mean, I call it a flatter spot, but whatever. On the quicker time, I'm pretty impressed by that, from just, like I said, just an air intake tube. So I might plan on trying to do some tune to it, but anyway, yeah, seems pretty cool to me. So the flywheel horsepower is below what the thing is actually rated at. That could be the fact that it's, a 12-year-old vehicle. It could be the fact that it's got 170,000 miles on it. Could be the fact that my weight isn't correct, so, but it went from, I think, 285 to 297.5, something like that. And then from 295 to 298, something like that, to 317. Oh no, 302 to 317. So, or 301. It ended up being 16.2 horsepower, but faster. So anyway, yep, I guess I would say if you have an 09, 07 to 14 GM truck, I'd say absolutely go for one of these things. It's a great power boost. I think even with the stock paper air filter, it would give you a boost, which I can do one of those tests in the future also. So like I said, I'm impressed with it. So I'm sure if I had the stock paper air filter in with the stock air intake, I'm sure if I had that, it would be it'd be much faster also. If I had a paper air filter instead of this K&N in the factory intake tube. So anyway, like I said, it seemed to work great for me. I'm definitely a fan. I can see what the hype is about. So, all right, catch you guys later.